Come all ye bold Northwestmen who plough the raging main, come listen to my story while I relate the same. 'Twas on the Lady Washington, decoyed as she lay at Queen Charlotte's Island, northwest of America. On the 16th day of June, boys, in the year of 91, the natives in great numbers on board our ship did come. Then for to buy the furs of them our captain did begin, but mark what they attempted before long time had been. Abaft upon our quarterdeck 2 armed chests did stand, and in them there was left the keys by the gunner's careless hand. When quickly they procuring of them did make a prize, thinking we had no other arms for to defend our lives. Our captain spoke unto them, and unto them did say, if you return to me those keys, I for the same will pay. No sooner had he spoke those words than they drew forth their knives, saying, the vessel's ours, sirs, and we will have your lives. Our captain then perceiving the ship was in their power, he spoke unto his people, likewise his officers, go down unto the cabin there, see that it be sure and don't misfire. Then down into the cabin straightway we did repair, and to our sad misfortune few guns could we find there. We only found 6 pistols, a gun and 2 small swords, and in short time we did agree, blow her up was the word. Our powder we got ready, and gun room open lay. Our souls we did commit to God, prepared for a watery grave. We then informed our captain, saying, ready now are we. He says, a signal I will give, it shall be follow me. All this time upon the quarterdeck, poor man was forced to stand, with 12 of those cursed savages, with knives all in their hands, till one of those bloodthirsty hounds, he made a spring below, and then he sang out, follow me, and after him did go. Then with what few firearms we had, we rushed on deck amain, and by our being resolute, our quarter-deck we gained. Soon as we'd gained our arm chests, such slaughter then made we, that in less than 10 minutes, our ship of them was free. Then we threw overboard the dead that on our deck there lay, and found we had nobody hurt, to work we went straightway. The number killed upon our deck that day was 60 good, and full as many wounded as soon we understood. 'Twas early the next morning, at the hour of break-up day, we sailed along abreast the town, which we came to straightway. We called all hands to quarters, and at the town did play. We made them to return what things they'd stolen that day. I'd have you all take warning and always ready be, for to suppress those savages of Northwest America, for they are so desirous some vessel for to gain, that they will never leave it off till most of them are slain. And now unto old China we're fastly rolling on, when we shall drink good punch, for which we've suffered long. And when the 16th day of June around us yearly come, we'll drink in commemoration what on that day was done. And now for to conclude and make an end unto my song, success to the commander of the Lady Washington, success unto his voyages wherever he may go, and may death and destruction always attend his foe.
Yankee Doodle wants a state, Oregon or Texas, send some squatters in it straight and quietly annex us. Yankee Doodle doodle doo, Yankee Doodle dandy, he can do the Britishers and Mexicans so handy. Canada's a pleasant place, so is California. Yankee Doodle wants them all, but first he cribs a corner. Yankee Doodle doodle doo, Yankee Doodle dandy, he can do the Britishers and Mexicans so handy. Yankee Doodle went to sleep among his bills of parcels. President Polk stirred him up and cocked his tail so martial. Yankee Doodle doodle doo, Yankee Doodle dandy, he can do the Britishers and Mexicans so handy. General Cassie made a speech, Archer called it splatter. He swore he'd tell the British Jack and wipe it in the gutter. Yankee Doodle doodle doo, Yankee Doodle dandy, he can do the Britishers and Mexicans so handy. Jabez Honan took an oath by the living jingo, Cuba soon shall be our own and so shall San Domingo. Yankee Doodle doodle doo, Yankee Doodle dandy, he can do the Britishers and Mexicans so handy. Yankee has some public works, well he may parade them, English money paid for all and Irish labor made them. Yankee Doodle doodle doo, Yankee Doodle dandy, he can do the Britishers and Mexicans so handy. Then hey for Yankee Doodle's luck and for annexation, hey for Yankee Doodle's luck and for repudiation. Yankee Doodle doodle doo, Yankee Doodle dandy, and hey for sherry, cobbler, two mint julep and peach brandy. Where mighty waters foam and boil and rushing torrents roar, in Fraser River's northern soil lies hid the golden ore. Far from home, on Fraser River's shore we labor hard. So does our bard to dig the golden ore. Far from home, we miners roam, we feel its joys no more. These we have sold for yellow gold on Fraser River shore. Far from home, on Fraser River shore we labor hard. So does our bard to dig the golden ore. In cabins rude our daily food is quickly counted o'er. Beans, bread, salt meat is all we eat, and the cold earth is our floor. Far from home, on Fraser River's shore we labor hard. So does our bard to dig the golden ore. Lonely we our lives, no mothers, wives, or sisters' love run o'er. When home we come at set of sun to greet us at the door. Far from home, on Fraser River's shore we labor hard. So does our bard to dig the golden ore. At night we smoke, then crack a joke, try cards till found aboard. Our good night said, we go to bed to dream of home once more. Far from home, on Fraser River's shore we labor hard. So does our bard to dig the golden ore. With luck at last, our hardships past, we'll start for home once more, and greet the sight with wild delight of California's shore. Far from home, on Fraser River's shore we labor hard. So does our bard to dig the golden ore. And when on shore we nevermore will roam through all our lives, a home we'll find just to our mind and make our sweethearts wives. Far from home, on Fraser River's shore we labor hard. So does our bard to dig the golden ore. I'm a young man from Canada, some 6 feet in my shoes. I left my home for Cariboo and the first exciting news. In New York City I met a gent, introduced himself to me. Said I come from Canada, so you can't come over me. Said I come from Canada, so you can't come over me. Now I sailed in the Crazy Champion, all in the steerage too. I thought I'd got among the fiends or other horrid crew. If you had only seen them feed, it quite astonished me. And I'd been years in Canada in a lumberman shanty. And I'd been years in Canada in a lumberman shanty. Now with 75 up on my back, I came the Douglas way, and at an easy-going pace made 30 miles a day. I landed here without a dime in 1863, but I'd been raised in Canada, 'twas nothing new to me. But I'd been raised in Canada, 'twas nothing new to me. Now in best of homespun I was clad, so I was warmly dressed. The wool that grew near Montreal at a place in Canada West. On Williams Creek they called me Green and Johnny come lately. Said I come from Canada, I ain't from the old country. Said I come from Canada, I ain't from the old country. Now I started out my mining life by chopping cord wood, but I was born with axe in hand, so I could use it good. My chum was from the state of Maine, somewhere near Tennessee. But I came from Canada, and he couldn't shop with me. But I came from Canada, and he couldn't shop with me. Now in a short time I made a raise and bought into a claim, and there they called me engineer, or carman, 'tis the same. The drifters they did try it on to boss it over me. Said I come from Canada, and I'm on the shouldery. Said I come from Canada, and I'm on the shouldery. Now in 2 weeks I got a div, which drove away all care. I went over to the wake-ups and had a bully square. I danced all night till broad daylight and a gal smiled sweet on me. Said I come from Canada and I'm on the Monashee. Said I come from Canada and I'm on the Monashee. Now all young men who are in love, and sure I am there's some, don't count your chicks before they're hatched, for they may never come. Oh, when I asked that gal to wed, she only laughed at me. You may come from Canada, but you can't come over me. You may come from Canada, but you can't come over me. I'll sing you now a mournful song, all of a fine old man who lived some years in Cariboo, all by his sleight of hand. Come back, Faro, Faro dear, or I'll sing Turalladeo. Come back, Faro, Faro dear, sing Turalladeo. Although he lay in his bed all day, he was wide awake at night. And when the luck was on his side, his face beamed with delight. Come back, Faro, Faro dear, or I'll sing Turalladeo. Come back, Faro, Faro dear, sing Turalladeo. At times he'd grumble of hard luck and say he'd ne'er a dollar, yet he lived a jolly lord and wore a paper collar. Come back, Faro, Faro dear, or I'll sing Turalladeo. Come back, Faro, Faro dear, sing Turalladeo. Many a time he found me grub when I had ne'er a red. Now I must work 10 hours a day since good old Faro's dead. Come back, Faro, Faro dear, or I'll sing Turalladeo. Come back, Faro, Faro dear, sing Turalladeo. Whate'er you wear, old Faro dear, I'll not defame the dead. Your ghost might haunt me some cold night and freeze me out in bed. Goodbye, Faro, Faro dear, may you strike it in white pine. Goodbye, Faro, Faro dear, and may we strike it here. There's naught but care on ilka hand on every oar that passes, oh, and sonny man, we han a chance to spark among the lasses, oh. Funny are the hurdies, oh, the German hurdy-gurdies, oh, that after so the day I spent was dancing with the hurdies, oh. A worldly race that riches chase, yet our gangs taps ulterior, and every hour we spend a teen is spent without a dearie, oh. Funny are the hurdies, oh, the German hurdy-gurdies, oh, that after so the day I spent was dancing with the hurdies, oh. Last summer we had lassies here frae Germany, the hurdies, oh. The troth I wot as I'm a Scot, they were the bonny hurdies, oh. Bonny are the hurdies, oh, the German hurdy-gurdies, oh, that after so the day I spent was dancing with the hurdies, oh. There's Kate and Mary, Blythe and Airy and dumpy little Lizzie, oh, and ane they called the kangaroo, a strappin' rattling hizzy, oh. Funny are the hurdies, oh, the German hurdy-gurdies, oh, that after so the day I spent was dancing with the hurdies, oh. They danced at neck and dresses lick frae late until the early, oh, but oh, their hearts were hard as flint, which vexed the laddies sairly, oh. Funny are the hurdies, oh, the German hurdy-gurdies, oh, that after so the day I spent was dancing with the hurdies, oh. The dollar was their only love, and that they loved full dearly, oh. They dinna care a flea for a minute them court howe'er sincerely, oh. Funny are the hurdies, oh, the German hurdy-gurdies, oh, that after so the day I spent was dancing with the hurdies, oh. They left the creek with lots of gold. Dance frae lads sae clever. Oh, my blessings on their sauerkraut hits if they stay awa forever. Oh, bonny are the hurdies, oh, the German hurdy-gurdies. Oh, that after sure the day I spent was dancing with the hurdies, oh.
Seattle, Illahee, row boys row, let's travel to the place they call Seattle. That's the place to have us free, Seattle, Illahee.
There'll be Mowich and Kloochman by the way when we arrive at Seattle, Illahee.
Oh, row boys row, let's travel to the place they call Seattle. Seattle, Illahee.
There'll be Hio clams and Kloochman by the way, Hio tennis mussum till daylight fades away.
Row, boys, row, let's travel to the place they call Seattle. Seattle, Illahee. That's the place to have us free, Seattle, Illahee.
Whether you could even sew them on a solstice shoe. Oh, the syrup, it was pain. If you smelled it, you would faint. And the prunes were dated 1849. Then we open up the gates. Oh, we all rush in on roller skates. And the old go hungry hash house where I board. Were sawdust, it'd make you smile. Your brothers ought to hear them claim that they were made of pork. And we never got enough of that beef that was so tough. Oh, you couldn't stick the gravy with the pork. Then we open up the gates. Oh, we all rush in on roller skates. And the old go hungry hash house where I board. Biscuits, they were wooden, and we had some cast iron pudding. Oh, you couldn't break the pie crust with a club. And if you weren't a lover of the landlady's daughter, why, you'd never get a decent plate of grub. Then we open up the gates. Oh, we all rush in on roller skates, and the old go hungry hash house where I board. Oh, come to the place where they struck it rich. Come where the treasure lies hid. Where your hat full of mud is a 5-pound note, and a clod on your heel is a quid. Klondike, Klondike, label your luggage for Klondike. There ain't no luck in the town today. There ain't no work down Ludaville way. So pack up your traps and be off, I say, off and away to the Klondike. Oh, they scratches the earth and it tumbles out more than your hands can hold. For the hills above and the plains beneath are cracking and busting with gold. Klondike, Klondike, label your luggage for Klondike. Oh, there ain't no work in the town today. There ain't no work down Hooterville way, so back up your traps and be off, I say, off and away to the Klondike. Klondike, Klondike, label your luggage for Klondike. Oh, there ain't no luck in the town today. There ain't no work down Hooterville way. So back up your traps and be off, I say, off and away to the Klondike.
When you hear those whips a-poppin', you bet he's got a load. When you hear that sweet voice singing, stand up rowdy on the Cariboo Road. Oh, here comes Henry Curry, he's always in a hurry, teaming up the Cariboo Road. He makes the horses go through the dust and through the snow, teaming up the Cariboo Road. And you usually see him sprinting to the Bold Ucletaw, teaming up the Cariboo Road. He makes the ladies prance just like his horses dance, teaming up the Cariboo Road. When you hear those whips a-poppin', you bet he's got a load. When you hear that sweet voice singing, stand up rowdy on the Cariboo Road. As a rule, to his horses he is cruel, teaming up the Cariboo Road. He beats him with the rail, puts fire in the tail, teaming up the Cariboo Road. Old Petey looks so wicked when you ask him for a ticket, teaming up the Cariboo Road. At the sight of $50, he will grab you by the collar, teaming up the Cariboo Road. When you hear those whips a-poppin', you bet he's got a load. When you hear that sweet voice singing, stand up rowdy on the Cariboo Road. With a rag around his neck, teaming up the Cariboo Road. And the swamper in the stable makes sure the teams are able, teaming up the Cariboo Road. When the roads are in their mire, though the freighter earns his hire, teaming up the Cariboo Road. And they can beat the weather when they all pull together, teaming up the Cariboo Road. When you hear those whips a-poppin', you bet he's got a load. When you hear that sweet voice singing, stand up rowdy on the Cariboo Road. You bet he's got a load. When you hear that sweet voice singing, stand up rowdy on the Cariboo Road.
Fellow workers, pay attention to what I'm going to mention. It is the fixed intention of the workers of the world, and I hope you'll all be ready, true-hearted, brave and steady, to rally around the standard when the red flag is unfurled. For the Fraser River flows, each fellow worker knows they have bullied and oppressed us, but still our union grows. So we're going to find a way, boys, shorter hours and better pay, boys. We're going to win the day, boys, where the river Fraser flows. Now these gunny sack contractors have all been dirty actors. They're not our benefactors, each fellow worker knows. So we've got to stick together in fine or dirty weather. We will show no white feather where the Fraser River flows. Where the Fraser River flows, Each fellow worker knows they have bullied and oppressed us, but still our union grows, so we're gonna find a way, boys. Shorter hours and better pay, boys. We're going to win the day, boys, where the river Fraser flows. The law is stretching, bulls and pimps he's fetching. They are a fine collection, as Jesus only knows. But why their mothers reared them, and why the devil spared them, are questions we can't answer where the Fraser River flows. Where the Fraser River flows, each fellow worker knows they have bullied and oppressed us, but still our union grows, so we're gonna find a way, boys. Shorter hours and better pay, boys. We're going to win the day, boys, where the river Fraser flows.
Come all ye bull-neck loggers and hear me sing my song, for it is very short and it will not keep you long. We had blankets for to travel, biscuits for to chaw. We were in search of pitchbacks way up the Ucletaw. Now we're leaving Vancouver with sorrow, grief and woe, heading up the country 100 miles or so. Blankets for to travel and biscuits for to chaw. We were in search of pitchbacks way up the Ucletaw. Now we hired 14 loggers and we hired a man to saw. We had a Chinese cook and he run the hotcakes raw. We had blankets for to travel, biscuits for to chaw. We were in search of pitchbacks way up the Ucletaw. Oh, we're leaving Vancouver with sorrow, grief and woe, heading up the country 100 miles or so. Blankets for to travel, biscuits for to chaw. We were in search of pitchbacks way up the Ucletaw. Oh, it's amusing to me, those waiters to see as they pass many times to and fro, with a dish in each hand, about all they can man, that bucks camp down at Monroe. Now the Loki does fine as it makes the incline, makes it both puff, snort and blow. It would unman your nerves as she slides round the curves at bucks camp down at Monroe. McCormick is our foreman, he's lazy as he's big. He rolled a log the other day and killed our only pig. It's amusing to me, those waiters to see as they pass many times to and fro, with a dish in each hand, about all they can man, as bucks camp down at Monroe. I've been Svensky, fallen fucker, and I've worked in the woods about 2 years. And I go down to Vancouver just to look for the Potlatch Fair. I got me a bottle of Campbell River and I jump on the boat about 6:30. There I meet 300 loggers all going down to get me fixed. I come down to Vancouver and I look for a place to eat. There I meet all them Svensky ballers all down on Powell Street. So it's up to the Hiley just for fun, and there I meet one big fat girl. She slapped me on the back and said, "How'd you do, Nels?" I looked round feeling so funny, never seen that girl before. But I being foxy say, "Hello Tilly, won't you come and have a drink?" We had a drink of Yicky Ginger, then we started to dance and sing. And I tell all them Svensky ballers that I paid for the whole damn thing.
Then we drink some more gin and whiskey, and I jump up on a chair and say, everybody make for Yolly, that's a style to make her pay. I was riding out in a nice blue wagon up to the city judge to see. The judge say, pay me $50, oh, you've been on an awful spree. And I paid the judge the $50, all the money that I had. For the Svenski baller, it's no good luck, and he's feeling mighty bad. So I go down to the skid road and I hired out there, and I yumped the old couch in Thurlow Island at the hell with the Potlatch Fair. There's a strike at Misty Moon Lake, and I'm set and ready to go for this ground that a feller can stake, but it's covered at present with snow. Way up in the Monashee range, so we'll wait till the hills get green. Then we're off to hit the trail, for we want to see what's to be seen, whether we strike it rich or we fail. Way up in the Monashee range, now it's a long way off from the road, and the climb's a hard one to take, but my feet it's to pack a load on the trail to Misty Moon Lake. Way up in the Monashee range. It's a long way off from the road, and the climb's a hard one to take. My feet it's to pack a load on the trail to Misty Moon Lake. Way up in the Monashee range.
Are you from Bevan? I said from Bevan. Where those fields of stumps they beckon to me, I'm glad to see you. Tell me how be you, and those friends I'm longing to see. If you're from Union Bay or Courtney or Cumberland, any place below that Bevan second dam. Are you from Bevan? I said from Bevan, 'cause I'm from Bevan too.
Hi there, friend, how do you do? There's something I'd like to say to you. You seem surprised, I recognize I'm no company spy, but I just surmise you're from the place I'm longing to be. Your smiling face seems to say to me, you're from the island, your land and my land. Tell me, can it be?
Are you from Bevan? I said from Bevan. Where those fields of stumps they beckon to me, I'm glad to see you. Tell me how be you, and those friends I'm longing to see. If you're from Union Bay or Courtney or Cumberland, any place below that Bevan second dam. Are you from Bevan? I said from Bevan, 'cause I'm from Bevan too.
First we walked out, next we were locked out, then by a fall we were all but knocked out. Our union miners faced guns in jail, hundreds of us were held without bail. By August 1914 our labor they were courting, but they blacklisted me.
Are you from Bevan? I said from Bevan. Where those fields of stumps they beckon to me, I'm glad to see you. Tell me how be you, and those friends I'm longing to see. If you're from Union Bay or Courtney or Cumberland, any place below that Bevan second dam. Are you from Bevan? I said from Bevan, 'cause I'm from Bevan too.
Song of the Sockeye, like a siren's call of old. When it gets in your blood, you can't shake it. It's the same as the beaver for gold. There's a hole in the BC coastline, the river's inlet's the place I mean, and it's there you will find the old-timer and also the fellow who's green. Oh, the boats head for there like the Sockeye, and some are a joy to the eye, while others are simply abortions that ought to be left high and dry. Now they go to the different canneries, and before they can make one haul, it's $300 for net grub and gas, which they hope to pay off before fall. Then it's off to the head of the inlet at 6 o'clock Sunday night. And when morning comes and you've got about 3, oh, the prospects don't look very bright. Of course, there is always an alibi to account for a very poor run. The weather is wrong, the moon's not full, or the big tides will help the fish come. Now along about dusk when you're starting to doze and you think I got a good night's set, an engine will roar and you look out the door as some farmer tows into your net. Now some of us think of the future, while others have things to forget. But most of us sit here and think of a school of Sockeye hitting the net. Season is over and you figure out what you have made. You were better off working for wages, no matter how low you were paid. For the comforts of home are worth something, so take it from me, my friend. Oh, frying pan grub and no headroom will ruin your health in the end. Hark to the song of the Sockeye, like a siren's call of old. When it gets in your blood, you can't shake it. It's the same as the beaver for gold.
Come all you jolly listeners and hear me while I hum a story I will tell you of the salty fisherman. From all the little rivers and inlets of the coast, he seems to like Pender Harbour to bum around the most. So early on a summer's morn, when the breakers pound, he rises from his greasy bunk and gazes all around. The sky's a little cloudy and breezes fan the sea. He crawls again into his cave, a breakfast for the flea. Or he may crank his lemon and through the waters plough, to swing balsam and gossip over at the scow. They never wash their carcasses, that's why they always drown. The bilge, the grease, the weight of fleas always drags them down. They wear the shirts until they rot and fall into the chuck. Their feet stick out of rubber boots, their pants themselves could walk. Most of them are lazy born, others say they're tired. They walk a slow and shuffling gait as if their feet were mired. All kinds of bums, quarter breeds, big squeak Scots and Poles, the scum of many different blends that should be on the coals. One always smells a fisherman before he's seen or heard. He leads a free and careless life, oh what a funny bird. They tell you stories by the mile of fish that they have nailed. They tell of creatures of the deep and of the seas they sailed. Now all you jolly listeners, believe me if you can, it's all the truth I'm telling you, 'cause I'm a fisherman. When the half-baked remittance man comes to the west, arrayed in short pants which he thinks suit him best, he parades around town while he takes a short rest, ere assuming the role of a rancher. Roll, roll, roll of a rancher, rancher of BC. Now all you remittance men listen to me, and I'll give you some pointers as far as I may, which might make you a rancher if you will obey. A rancher that's fit for a rancher. Fit for a rancher, rancher of BC. First, mind you don't stay in Victoria long. The water is bad and the liquor is strong, and as you're mustering something, you're sure to go wrong and spoil your success as a rancher. Says a rancher, rancher of BC. Take advice if you buy a fine ranch by a stream. Don't leave for trout fishing your cows and your cream, but make butter and wealth beyond your greediest dream, which is far the best plan for a rancher. Plan for a rancher, rancher of BC. If in riding your bronco he starts into buck, and you fear if you fall by his hoofs you'll be struck, throw your arms round his neck, man, and trust to your luck. If you can't keep your seat like a rancher, seat like a rancher, rancher of BC. If in hunting for deer on some lone mountain top, across a big bear you should happen to drop, just climb the first tree and be sure there to stop, till assistance arrives for the rancher. Rise for the rancher of BC. If in clearing the stumps off your ranch there's a hitch, don't call your stump puller a contrary bitch. She's human as you are, you treat her as such, and she'll work for the young British rancher. Young British rancher, the rancher of BC. If after long striving on Vancouver's plains you find that your debts are the whole of your gains, go up to the Klondike with the cash that remains and get better off than a rancher. Off than a rancher, rancher of BC.